Okay then, today we are going to make a traditional British dish, toad in the hole. Toad in the hole uses sausages. These type of sausages with raw meat in are typically British. Most other sausages in Europe, the meat is cooked before they make the sausages, such as chorizo, salami, bratwurst. But English sausages are not cooked first. You will need a meat tin or a lasagna dish. These meat tins come with your cooker, so you should have one of these at home, 20 by 30 centimetres. And if you haven't got a meat dish, you can buy one of these from us for 50 pence, okay? But a lasagna dish or a Pyrex dish as big as a lasagna dish will do as well. First thing you need to do is you need to get your oven on. Your oven needs to be on at 220 centigrade or gas mark 7. Now remember, the electric ovens have red switches on at the wall that you need to turn on before you turn it to 220. And with the gas ovens, you must make sure you open the oven, turn the gas switch to the ignition switch, press down, check you've got a flame, and turn your oven to gas. Once you've done that, you are going to put your sausages in your meat dish. And you need approximately 8 sausages. You can buy whichever variety you like, skinless, Cumberland, locally made sausages from your local farmer's market. And you're going to place them in your meat tray. 8 sausages will be the amount that you need for this size of tin. Then get rid of your rubbish and wash your hands, because sausages are a high-risk food. High-risk foods are foods which bacteria can grow on quickly. So your sausages should have been stored in the fridge before stored in the fridge before you need them. You're then going to drizzle 1 tablespoon excuse me, of vegetable oil on top of your sausages. The recipe says sunflower oil. The school has vegetable oil, but if you want to use sunflower oil, you're going to have to bring that in yourself. Okay? Those sausages are then going to go in your oven. Remember to use oven gloves so you don't burn yourself. And you will need to put both ovens on. Make sure the door doesn't swing, and in the oven they go. While they're in the oven, you're going to make your batter. Now this batter is a Yorkshire pudding batter and was created in Yorkshire, and you traditionally had it before the meal, so it filled you up and you didn't eat too much of the expensive protein. Remember that if you've got to weigh your flour at school, you take your bowl and your flour to the measuring tables. You put your bowl on the scales before you zero them. You zero them, make sure that they're on grams, and then you weigh out 140 grams of plain flour. There's no need to sieve it. Okay? If you put too much in, you need to get a spoon and take some out. 140 grams of flour. To that flour, you're going to add some salt, and that salt is going to develop the gluten in the flour, the protein in the flour, and make it stretchy. Because the raising agent in a toad in the hole is steam. So the steam expands And as it expands, the whole structure of the batter expands with it. So you need half a teaspoon of salt, so check your teaspoon, half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, there's plenty, and that's going to... You're then going to make a well in the centre of your flour, where you're going to put your eggs. But you need to measure your milk first. Remember to measure on a flat surface to get an accurate amount. And this is a really good way of using up leftover milk, making it into a batter which you cook. So if it's a day out of date, it's perfectly alright to use because you're cooking it and killing the bacteria. So you've measured your milk. The next thing you need to do is crack your eggs. Now if you are not confident in cracking your eggs into your well, then crack your eggs into a separate bowl. Check you haven't got any shell. Second egg into the bowl. Check there's no shell. Wash your hands, put your hand in your eggs, and then you're ready to whisk your batter. Now you can whisk your batter with a fork. Just add a little bit of milk to start with and whisk it with a fork to make a smooth paste. If you get it too lumpy, ask your teacher for a balloon whisk and that will help you get rid of the lumps. But you can actually do this and make it smooth just using a fork. Mix all your flour up. Once you've got all your flour into a thick paste, you're going to add the milk a little at a time. Add a little bit more milk, whisk it again, and so you do this until you have added all your milk. Now, if you do not like sausages or you're a vegetarian, there are several alternatives that you can put in. You can buy corn sausages, or you can buy specialist sausages like Linda McCartney sausages, and there's all sorts of different red onion and mozzarella sausages, etc. Or you can buy Glamorgan sausages. Glamorgan sausages, invented in Wales, are made of breadcrumbs and cheese. If you don't want to put sausages in it at all, then you can put chunky vegetables in, such as quarters of onions, aubergines, carrots, root vegetables, courgettes. And it is a very, very cheap filling meal. So when you're a poor, hard-up student, this will be a nice meal to make. So once you've got a nice smooth batter, nice and smooth, you're ready to pop it in your tin. So next thing you need to do is to tidy your work area and get out your wooden mat from your cupboard, ready to put your hot meat tray on. So you're going to get your meat tray out, using oven gloves again, and your sausages will have started to brown. They won't be totally brown, but they will continue browning when you put the batter back in. You're going to take the sausages out of your tin and pop them on a plate while you pour your batter in. So take your sausages out on a plate. If you just pour the batter straight on, your sausages will not be evenly placed in your toes in the hole. So you take the sausages out, you pour your batter in, making sure you put all your batter in by using a plastic spatula. And then you can place your sausages evenly in the batter. Now these are going to go in the oven for approximately 20 minutes. As I said earlier on, they rise through the steam created by the batter. And if you keep on opening and closing the oven, the steam will contract and you will have a flat batter. So if there's 3 of you working in the kitchen, the first one can put their, this door keeps moving. The first one can put their toasting hole in the top oven. The second and third person need to wait until you're both ready to put them in the oven and you put them in the oven together. You then do not open the door to check them for at least 15 minutes. After 15 minutes you can open the door and check them, and the Yorkshire pudding batter mix should be well risen and golden brown. Right, that's the end of that one. On. Okay then, so after 20 minutes, 15 minutes you can open the oven. It will take another 5 to 10 minutes after that. Your toad in the hole should be well risen and your sausage is nice and golden brown. Probably do it a bit longer actually. Not turning it off. Just leave it in there for...
Shall I turn this off now?
Right. Stop. And then we'll start again.